For many children with dyslexia, reading becomes a struggle for them. And so what you have to have is an approach to teaching reading that is really going to support them and help them to be successful. And a structured approach with phonics is going to be one step towards achieving that. But actually using the digital tools where you may have a text being read, being able to follow the words, having the ability to look up the definition of a word, to build your vocabulary, the actual barrier of reading is taken away by the technology.
We're very fortunate in that we have access to a wealth of technology within our teaching. So all of our children have one-to-one devices, which in our case is a Microsoft Surface. And on that, we have various platforms that they use and we use to deliver our teaching. So things like Microsoft OneNote, Microsoft Teams, and lots of the other Microsoft apps as well. Another feature that we use in OneNote is Immersive Reader, and that particularly helps our dyslexic students. When looking at a text, they can use text-to-speech if they want to look at a whole chunk, or it could be a particular word that's maybe multisyllabic that they can't quite decode. They can use that Immersive Reader feature to highlight. They can make the text bigger or smaller, they can change the font, they can change the background colour, which has been really beneficial for some of our dyslexic students because they prefer to read, for example, on a blue background. You can look at different word classes, so when we're interrogating different texts as part of our lessons, that can be really helpful because we find that grammar information, unless it's really embedded, sometimes particularly the dyslexic students, they find it hard to hold on to that information. So the fact that that's at the tip of their fingertips and they don't always have to ask, because sometimes it can be, frustrating that you constantly feel like you're forgetting those word associations. You can also use a picture dictionary, which is a fantastic way to find out the definitions or the meanings of any unfamiliar words. A great feature within Immersive Reader is that you're able to use it on any text. So if you're reading a book, you're able to scan in a page of your book, and actually you can utilise all of those features. For example, we've had a group reading the BFG, and within the BFG, the language can be quite challenging, and obviously it's not the kind of language that necessarily you can find dictionary definitions for, because a lot of it's made up language. But what they were able to do was, using the syllable tool, they were able to unpick the words, sound the words out, and really enjoy saying them. They were then able to really focus on developing their comprehension skills and their discussion of the text and their passion for the text and love of the text. And so that became a book that was really special to those children because they associated it with being a text that they had studied in a way that they felt was really accessible, really positive. And so I think that really sets Immersive Reader apart in that it can be applied to any text from any source. An interesting thing that we use here at our school is Flipgrid. If you're not familiar with Flipgrid, what it is, it's a video platform.
Hello everybody, today I'm going to be telling you about There's No Place Like Home.
We use it here for something called Bookworms, where the librarian does a starter video and then the children respond and they have to talk about the book that they've been reading.
I want a hug, said a wise owl. I sit in my tree.
What they liked about it, some kind of comprehension skill development where they talk about the storyline, they talk about the characters, maybe some words that they really liked from it. And that's just a really nice way, particularly for those shyer children or the children that don't feel so confident when they're younger at speaking aloud or articulating themselves to an adult. The fact that they're doing it into a computer just really takes down that wall, I think, and they feel a lot more confident to do it. For the dyslexic children, I think the fact that they're able to remove so many of the barriers that they would normally find in a more traditional classroom where they don't have access to this technology, what it subsequently does is it allows their talents and their positive attributes to really, really shine through, which in turn just develops their confidence so much. So rather than really focusing in on the things that they can't do, what they are able to focus on is all the other amazing things that they are capable of, and they're able to develop their skill set, their personality so much more, and really appreciate and know their strengths and their worth.